But today we're going to talk about 3 common faults we see with the squat. So let's talk about proper setup. The proper setup of the squat, the chest is lifted, the feet are shoulder width apart, and the toes are turned out slightly. Now, as Greg drops into the bottom of the squat, his chest is up, he goes down and back, and his hips end up below parallel. This brings us to our first fault with the squat, and that is going to proper depth. So, proper depth, hips below parallel, and he's going to stand up again. When he goes to a short squat, as most people do, there's a lot of downward pressure on the knee. The knee is forced to break that downward action. It's actually putting a lot of strain on the knees. Now, when he goes into the full squat, the knees are pulled in line by the inner thighs. The hips and glutes take up a lot of the work, as well as the hamstrings. So I'm going to have Greg turn to the side. So when we talk about the crease of the hip, this is what we mean. His hip is right down here, back up again. His hip is here, and then as you watch my finger, it's falling just below that knee. That is where the crease of the hip is below the knee. That is the proper depth of the squat. Second fault we see is we call this the chicken squat, and this is when the torso kind of leaves the squat rather than the hips and butt going back. This is usually caused by weak lower back, weak stomach muscles, and weak hip flexors. The cue for that is to lift the chest, keep that chest up, eyes forward, down and back. The other way to fix that is to go to the wall. And what Greg's going to do is have his palms on the wall, and he's going to keep those hands on the wall while he goes into the bottom of the squat. That forces him to keep that chest up. Finally, the third fault we see is the pitching forward on the toes. This is kind of related to the chicken squat in so much that the torso kind of leads and he's ending up on his toes. As you can see down here, when he goes back into that bottom of the squat, his heels are off the ground. So the cue for that is to put your weight in your heels and back up. So when he goes into that bottom of the squat with his weight in his heels, I should be able to put my fingers under his toes if he's in that proper position and back up. And those are 3 common faults with the squat.